Hello everyone, welcome to Brick or Block. Today I've got a LEGO Harry Potter set that's nostalgic for me and probably for many of you, so let's take a closer look at it. This is LEGO set 4842 Hogwarts Castle, released in 2010 for $129. Adjusted for inflation, that's actually about $191. It includes these 11 minifigures and totals to 1,290 pieces. And first, we're going to take a look at those minifigures. First up, we've got Harry Potter. Now, this figure is really nothing special for this set. This was a very common figure during this era of LEGO Harry Potter. On the front, he's got the Gryffindor print, and there's a little bit of printing on the back, but we just get plain black legs, and the very standard reversible head for him. He also gets a wand, which is really oversized, but you gotta remember this is what they were using for wands during this era, which you can kind of get to point out like that, but again, they are really kind of ridiculously oversized. Next, we've got Hermione, which is really the same deal, a very common figure for this era. She uses the exact same torso as Harry, and her head is also reversible to give her a more angry look. This is the 2010 to 2011 Hagrid, who was also not exclusive to this set, but he is nice to get here. He has a very large torso and leg piece combined, and really kind of weird hands with fingers on them. No printing on the back, but some nice molding there for his jacket. And he does not have a reversible face, but that's what you can see what he looks like under his beard. We can put that back on, and again, a nice minifigure to get, but not exclusive to this set. This version of Voldemort, once again, is not exclusive to this set. He has a very basic torso print with some cloth folds in there. No printing on the back, but he does have this cape to cover that up anyway. He comes with a white wand, and the face print is nice, so this is a solid minifigure to get. This version of Professor Snape would be exclusive to this set if not for a technicality. He also came in a magnet set, which technically is different, as those figures will have magnets in the legs, I believe. So this is the only set to come with him as a normal minifigure. As you can see on the torso, it's again a nice basic print. He comes with a black wand piece. He does not have an alternate face or any printing on his back. And overall, I think this is a really solid Snape figure for this era. I think it's about as good as they could do. Dumbledore is kind of in the same situation where he is exclusive, but there's also a magnet of this figure. He comes with a tan wand piece for what I believe is the Elder Wand, and if we take off his head and beard, you can see there's a really nice print for that torso with some metallic printing. Unfortunately, mine is a little bit scuffed up, as I've had this for years, but the beard covers most of that anyway. That's what you can see Dumbledore's face looks like under the beard, and he does have an alternate face for him without the glasses, which you can see looks like that with the beard, but I feel like he's wearing the glasses in most of the scenes in the Harry Potter movies, so I tend to keep him with the glasses. There is back printing for this figure, again some nice metallic details. And if you count this as exclusive to this set, I think this is a great figure to get. Professor Flitwick, on the other hand, is entirely exclusive to this set, which I think this is great to throw in like kind of one-off professors. Although he was in a couple scenes in the movies, he's not a major character, and I think that's what most exclusive figures really should be. Unfortunately, he does share this torso with the goblins from the Diagon Alley set from this year, so really the only exclusive thing about this figure is the face. He does not have an alternate face print, but I do like that LEGO threw him in as a one-off figure. The same is true for this version of Professor McGonagall, who comes with a very nice dress print on that green slope. The torso print is also very neat with some more metallic details, kind of like Dumbledore had. She of course has no alternate face as she's wearing a hat, and the torso does not have any back printing. But I also think this is a great figure to get, exclusive to this set. She kind of fills out the roster, although she's definitely a more major character in the movies than Professor Flitwick is. Next up, we've got Argus Filch, the Groundskeeper. This figure is also exclusive to this set. He comes with a little lantern. He does not have an alternate face or any back printing, but the hair covers that up anyway. And I feel like this is a similar situation to Professor Flitwick, where this is a nice one-off figure to get for a minor character in this set. The set comes with two of these Dementor figures. They both include this clear stand piece so that they can stand up easily. And they technically do have alternate faces, but this side of the face is with their mouth closed, so there's really not much there. But that's what it looks like with the hood piece on. I do like this cloth piece, I think it looks good for them. And under that you can see it's a gray skeleton piece with some droid arms. You can easily have them stick out. But these are two nice figures to kind of round out the lineup. The set also comes with Mrs. Norris, who is Argus Filch's cat. This is not exclusive to this set. It was used for a bunch of different lines even outside of Harry Potter, but it is a fun inclusion. The last thing on the minifigure side of things is that you do get this invisibility cloak piece. Now obviously mine is a bit tattered as I've had this for years, but this was LEGO's old representation of the invisibility cloak. You can put it over minifigures and kind of have them be invisible. Honestly, I don't think this is anything special, but it's fun for playability. Before we get into any of the buildings, the set has you build these 3 connector pieces first. These 2 are the same. They're on hinges and include these Technic pin pieces. And this one is a little bit larger with a window in the middle. I think it looks quite nice. But these are the first things the set has you build, so I figured I would note them here. First, we're going to take a look at this building, which is a combination of the common rooms and the owlry. I really like the exterior of this. There is this odd protrusion, which is actually a play function that I'll go over later. But I like how the construction comes in and then back out. It creates a more varied shape rather than just it being a tower. And I also like this addition to the roof here. Now let's take a look at the interior. We're going to start here on the bottom floor, which is the Slytherin common room. Now these are a bit small, admittedly, and they can look a bit bare. But you gotta remember this did come out in 2010. The snakes on the walls are a nice detail, as well as the torch in the middle of the room. And back there you can see a stickered tile with a Slytherin logo on it. The chairs can swivel, although it's hard to get them to go all the way around. They don't have much mobility beyond this. On the table we have a copy of the Quibbler with Harry on it for the Slytherin students to read. Although you don't get any Slytherin students in this set, which I've always found a bit odd. Next we've got this middle floor with this knight statue, which is technically the 12th minifigure of the set. There's also a spider on the floor, and as you can see, this swivels. I have some trouble getting it to swivel this way, but I'm sure if you angle the knight's sword right, you can. But if you turn it this way, it'll reveal a book. Now, there's nothing inside this book, it's just the standard black book piece, but it's a neat little detail. Up next, we've got the Gryffindor common room right here. The chairs in this one swivel much better, and this is where you could seat probably Harry and Hermione. This piece was very common to LEGO Harry Potter in this era, and it is the Marauders map. As you can see, nice print there, but nothing too crazy. Back there is a Gryffindor sticker, and that play function we talked about earlier is up here. You can push this in, and it'll reveal a stickered tile of Sirius Black in the fire. Now I forget which Harry Potter movie this is from, but it's a neat detail. Although it does make the chairs more difficult to spin. And up at the top is a small owlry. The set includes 3 owls. One is definitely supposed to be Hedwig, the other 2 are just random. And it's a nice way to fill out the top of this building. Next up we've got the Great Hall, which is another one that looks pretty nice from the outside. This roof is angled pretty nicely, although it's only with 1 hinge, but I haven't had any issues with stability on that. Turning it to the side, you can see one of the 2 stained glass windows. And I do wish these were integrated with a little bit more depth, kind of like how this window protrudes out. Maybe these could have been set back half a stud, but they are a nice detail. Spinning it to the other side, there is another stained glass window and a door piece that can open and close. You can see some technicals for customizing the layout of the castle, but now let's look at the interior. Now here we've got the interior of the Great Hall. Again, the back can look a little bare, but you gotta remember this was 2010. The benches are only 1 plate, which can look a little odd, but it's easy to have minifigures sit here, and if you had more minifigures, you could definitely fill this out with student characters. The set includes many of these goblet pieces, this cake, which is a really cool detail, a turkey, and a bowl of food back here with some berries and the croissant. Up here you can have Dumbledore stand behind this podium, and you can easily seat some of the teachers in these chairs, although you might have to take Snape's cape off to do it. There we go. Up towards the top we have some stickered banners for Gryffindor and Slytherin. This chandelier does spin, but it's not a particularly functional thing to do. But that is the Great Hall. Next up we have the Astronomy Tower. Again, a pretty nice looking building from the outside. The axes break up the bottom from the top nicely, and the use of dark tan inset from the brighter tan is a nice feature. And at the top you can see some battlements. Now if we spin it around, we can take a look at the interior. On the bottom floor here, we've got the Vanishing Cabinet. Now all this does is open and close. You can fit a minifigure in here, but there's no play feature to this. But up to the second floor we have what's supposed to be the forbidden portion of the library. You can put a key in this headlight brick and unlock the chains, and slide open the doors to reveal some of the books. Now, I only have 1 book here. Normally this set comes with 3 brown books, but I was unable to find them in my collection. I think that's a pretty fun play feature. On the top floor, there's not much to see. There's a telescope, which is why this is the astronomy tower. And they do include a rat up here, but this can really go anywhere. Now last, but certainly not least, we have Dumbledore's office, which is probably my personal favorite building of the set. This is probably the most detailed of the exteriors. We have another one of those door pieces which can open this way. This angle of sand green is really nice to look at. And we have some stickers for bricks. The Hogwarts logo sits right here. And we have some more of those battlements in combination with one of these big roof pieces. And I find these arched windows to be integrated really well into this building. Moving on to the interior. On the first floor, we have a spiral staircase that can be hidden away, just like in the movies. Back here, you can see a stickered shield of James Potter's Seeker's Shield. And over here, there's a chest with a map and a couple jewels inside it. This piece is nothing special. It was not exclusive to this set. I believe it came in a couple castle sets, but it just says you are far more powerful than you would ever imagine. You can swing out these steps and go up to the second floor. Now up here is really where Dumbledore's office is. We can sit him in the seat back there. There we go, we've got him in there. On the two sides, we've got a couple cabinets. The tops of these can be lifted off to reveal a couple different things. This one's got a letter inside, and this one has a tooth piece. But I do like the look of these with all the different potions on them. And this one even has a frog. Down here we have some sort of crystal ball. I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to be. It might actually be Fawkes's egg now that I think about it. And here we've got a copy of the Daily Prophet with a magnifying glass over it. Up towards the top we have what is supposed to be a representation of the Sword of Gryffindor. LEGO was not too keen on making exclusive molds for this theme, so I understand why they went with a normal silver sword, but it would have been nice to get an exclusive piece for the Gryffindor sword. And we also have the sorting hat. This is a pretty neat print, and I think it captures the sorting hat well, and you can easily move this to the Great Hall and have them recreate that scene from the first movie. I should also note that there are usually stickers here of some portraits, which I will throw up on screen, but again, these are things that I've lost to time in my collection. Now, I don't know if it's actually going to fit in my display here, but to kind of prove the modularity of this, I'm going to set these up in a bit of a random way. So here we've got Dumbledore's office. And I've got one of these connector pieces. And I'm going to put it right here through that technical. Now, what you'll see is they include these technicals on both sides, so you really can set these up however you want. But there we've got Dumbledore's office. Next, we'll bring in the common rooms in the owlery. And we'll put that here. And then maybe we'll use the big connector piece and put that in here. It gives it some curve. Then we'll bring in the Great Hall. What's nice about this one is it includes 4 of these Technic pinhole pieces, 2 on each side. So you can really get kind of crazy with this, but we'll put this here. And then we'll get another one of these connector pieces and put it here. And attach the astronomy tower to the other side. I know my backdrop is too small for this, but it's a really nice set to look at. I think no matter which way you put this, it's going to look pretty good. And I think that's part of why I love this set so much, is it's so customizable. You can really just do whatever you want with it. You could even display all these buildings separately if you really wanted to. At the end of the day, it's up to you. You can even get more of a curved in action kind of going on here. You can spread them out like this. You could even, I guess I'll do this here. You could even fold them in on themselves kind of and get more of an L shape, which is an interesting look. I've never done that before, but I think it looks nice. Or if you just want to be, you know, kind of plain about it, or if you don't have much space, you can just display them right alongside each other. And like I said, I think that's one of the big strengths of this set that you don't really see in big sets these days. Every once in a while, LEGO does one of these 1,000+ piece play sets and really knocks it out of the park. And I think this 2010 Hogwarts Castle was really one of those cases. It's got a great look from the outside, mostly good playability from the inside, and a pretty great lineup of minifigures for the era. My only real complaints are that I wish it did include a couple Slytherin minifigures for that common room, and I do wish some of the interior spaces had a little more space, but honestly, this is a set I really do love, and it's not just nostalgia. I would say if you want to part this out on Bricklink, definitely go for it. It's not going to be too expensive, especially with new Harry Potter sets coming out and newer versions of these figures coming out, they're going to be less expensive too. So honestly, this could be a cheaper option, especially compared to sets these days. So that's the review. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more throwback reviews like this. If you love this era of LEGO like I do, definitely stay tuned.